Hey everybody, Brad the Guitarologist here. We're gonna open this box, see what's in it, and maybe repair it. I think I have a rough idea what it is, but I'm not 100% sure, so it might be a bit of a surprise. Okay, let's see what we have here. Oh, man, it's a nice old Zenith radio, probably from the 40s or 50s. I'd say. Bakelite cabinet. A watcher to the channel sent me this. I think he bought it for $5 or something and donated it to the cause. So pretty cool. Very, very nice of him, and thank you very much. You know who you are. Thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, I feel obligated now to fix this thing, since it was sent to me for free. Especially, I'm sure he wants to see what became of it. So at some point, not sure if it'll be today, but at some point we will get to this. Hopefully sooner rather than later. And if you're watching this now, that means I've already gotten to it. So, let's see. Chassis 6J05, model number R615G. And with the 35C5, this is going to be a series filament, little series filament radio. Let's see. Yep, here's your audio output section over here. Yep, it should be fairly straightforward. So let's pop it open, get a look at the internals, and see what it needs. One obvious problem with this thing, before we go any further, this has a big chunk out of the cabinet on the side here. It's not too bad from the front still. So if you set it up on a shelf or something, and only ever saw the front, it would probably be fine. But it does have this big chunk out of the cabinet, and I'm wondering if this might not be a good opportunity, since the cabinet is in this kind of condition, to maybe modify this thing and show you how to convert, because I get a lot of questions about converting radios, old radios, into guitar amplifiers. Hell, there's even a switch here we might even be able to use. I'm not even sure what it does, but there's already some sort of switch, and we already have some kind of input or output right here as well. Not sure if that's for audio in or what. Maybe it is already for audio in. If it is, this might be an easy conversion for guitar. One other thing we could see there while we before we get into this too far is that they 343 548. That's probably, gosh, I'm wanting to say that. I guess this could be late 1945, the 48th week of 1945, but it's probably 1955. I'm not a radio expert, so dating these by sight is not my forte. But we'll look it up, see when this model was made. I'm guessing probably 1955. Alright, here we go. We got this thing plugged in and fired up, and let's see if we get anything out of it. Nothing really so far. There's something. It's going to be real hard to hear, I'm sure. There's another station there. Can barely hear. But something I noticed is that there's no antenna. The back is missing and there's no antenna. Let's turn this thing down. Probably gonna be loud.
And the stars and the sun, and then all of a sudden, and Jupiter's supposed to be in the womb of this constellation, right? Then all of a sudden we hear about this dragon, okay? And this dragon is supposed to rise up and attack the Tron. So it's supposed to rise up and overcome Jupiter. At least according to, it all means anything to you. Because we've been talking about this for days. A lot of people have been wanting to know more about this. Well, there was a guy named Daniel who sent me a message. And in his message, it echoed the concerns of many of the listeners who have been asking me questions about why we haven't addressed the dragon situation in the story with, the Virgo event. And so the question was, this is what Daniel asked. He said, quote, is it possible that the red dragon could be the nemesis star, the system made up of a red dwarf star and the 7 planets and the 10 moons? So that's where we get the 7 and 10. 7 planets and the 10 moons all being influenced by this dwarf. Now, his question is similar because I've been getting other questions about, could the red dragon be Planet X? And will Planet X be among the 7 planets and the 10 moons? I got a lot to get to it. I hope I get to it. I hope that what I'm talking about you can really get into and understand. So I'm going to try and make this as clear as possible. So when you're looking at the influences and the metaphors of dragons and Leviathan and,
I haven't a goddamn clue what that guy's talking about. It sounds totally insane to me. Anyway, this thing obviously needs an antenna. So we are going to make one. Let's make an antenna. All right, for an AM antenna, you basically just need a coil of wire, which is what we've created here. We are going to slip this. We're just using this as a template for the coil. So we're going to slip this off of here and tape it onto the cardboard. So let's get some tape. I have some real good tape to do this with.
All these stories about sun gods, dragons, all can fill up ancient histories, and their appearance have been recorded as omens to major events of upheaval and important dates of celebration and observances. And this eclipse that we're having is no different. And what are we going to see when the eclipse happens? Are we going to see Planet X? Are we going to see Nemesis? Are we going to see the monster or the beast or Leviathan? I mean, this is all based primarily on ancient writings of the Sumerians, the Babylonians, even the Bible. It's not direct interpretation, but it's certainly interesting, and it's basically answering...
All right, so that antenna works fairly well. It's not the best antenna in the world, but it does an okay job. Now we're going to see if we can get a guitar signal into this, and we will use an RCA to a 1/4 inch adapted cable for that. right, so there you have it. As you can see, these little radios from the 40s, 50s, 60s, as long as they have a RCA input of some kind like this one did, they actually sound half decent. Now, obviously, we didn't do any kind of servicing on the guts or anything like that. I mean, ideally, I'd want to get in there and replace all the capacitors and maybe even do a couple slight modifications on the power or on the amplifier section, the audio output section, in order to maximize that for guitar use. But, you know, as it is, it actually sounds pretty good. So, hope you've enjoyed this video. Please hit the subscribe button for more videos like this in the future. And for now, y'all take care.